Nan's chilling college tale, a deadly fall, haunted cards, and ghostly passengers in a crash. This story comes from my older sister, Nan, back when she was a student at a well-known university in Chicago. Nan was the life of the party. She loved hitting up bars with her friends, often drinking until she was too buzzed to head home. When that happened, she'd crash at her best friend's dorm, a 10-story building near campus. Her friend's place was on the 9th floor. For a couple of years, everything was fine, no weird vibes, no creepy incidents. That is, until one fateful morning. One night, Nan got wasted. As usual, she stumbled to her friend's dorm to sleep it off. When she woke up, her stomach was growling, still groggy. She dragged herself out of bed and headed downstairs to grab some food from a nearby food truck. As she was crossing the street to get some tacos, she heard a loud thud behind her, like a heavy sack hitting the ground. Just inches from where she stood, her heart skipped a beat. What the hell was that? Almost took my head off, she muttered to herself. When she turned around, her blood ran cold. Nan bolted, running all the way to the end of the block, not stopping until she reached a familiar diner. The guy who worked the food truck, a regular who knew Nan, saw her shaking and crying. "Yo, Nan, what's wrong? Why are you freaking out?" he asked. Through sobs, Nan stammered, There was a guy. He jumped off the building. He fell, right behind me." The guy told her to calm down and offered to walk her back to check it out. When they returned, a crowd had already gathered. Nan pushed through and saw the body, mangled, limbs twisted in unnatural angles, blood pooling on the pavement. But what haunted her most wasn't the gruesome sight. It was the moment the guy hit the ground. His eyes locked onto hers, wide open, staring right into her soul. That image burned into her mind, haunting her to this day. Later, paramedics arrived and took the body away. Word spread that the guy had been dealing with family issues and took his own life. Nan learned he lived on the 10th floor, directly above her friend's dorm room. Days later, the entire 10th floor cleared out. Everyone moved, spooked by the incident. Nan's friend, though, wasn't the superstitious type. If anything, she was the kind to poke at the supernatural for kicks. One night, while hanging out with Nan and 2 other friends, she grinned mischievously and said, "Yo, you think that guy's still around?" One of the friends smirked. Only one way to find out. There was a small memorial shrine outside the dorm, set up for the guy who jumped. Nan and her friends, half joking, half curious, lit some candles and said, "Hey, man, if you're still here, come play cards with us tonight. Pick any card you want. Just show us you're around." They placed the candles at the shrine and headed back to the dorm to play a game of poker. They started dealing, but something was off. No matter how long they played, no one could win. Then they noticed one card was missing. A standard deck has 52 cards, but they were one short. They tore the room apart, checking under furniture, behind cushions. Nothing. Then it hit them. Didn't we tell him to come play? Chills ran down their spines. They rushed back to the shrine, lit another candle, and pleaded, "All right, man, we know you're here. Please, just give the card back." Back in the elevator, they pressed the button for the 9th floor. But the elevator didn't stop. It shot straight to the 10th floor and stayed there. The doors opened to a pitch-black hallway, no lights, no people, just an eerie silence. The 10th floor was abandoned. They mashed the buttons, desperate to get back to the 9th floor. But the elevator wouldn't budge. For 5 agonizing minutes, they stood frozen, hearts pounding, half expecting something to appear. Finally, they couldn't take it anymore. They bolted for the stairwell, screaming as they raced down to the 9th floor and burst into the dorm room. That's when they saw it. The missing card, the Queen of Spades, was sitting right on the bed. They'd searched every inch of that room before leaving, and it hadn't been there. That night, no one dared sleep alone. They piled into the room, squeezing onto the floor, barely sleeping, jumping at every creak and shadow until dawn. The next morning, Nan woke up first, the sunlight streaming through the window. As she rubbed her eyes, she froze. A shadowy figure plummeted past the balcony window, a human shape. Unmistakable, she screamed, waking everyone up. They ran downstairs, expecting to find another body. But there was nothing. No blood, no trace, nothing. Nan was losing it. She cornered the dorm's security guard and demanded answers. Why did everyone on the 10th floor move out? At first, he dodged the question, but Nan's friend pushed until he caved. People up there kept hearing things, he admitted, crying, furniture moving, all coming from that guy's locked apartment. The doors padlocked from the outside. Nan and her friends went back to the shrine, lit candles, and apologized profusely, begging for peace. The next day, they packed up and moved out. As Nan left the dorm for the last time, she swore she felt something brush past her back. Like a body falling, her skin prickled, and her hair stood on end. But the story doesn't end there. Nan moved to a small town in Illinois after college, hoping to leave the nightmares behind. One night, after a party at a local bar, she was driving home. The area was rural, surrounded by cornfields and dark, empty roads. She'd had a few drinks, too many, honestly, and her car swerved, smashing into a pickup truck. Her car flipped. Nan blacked out, waking only when paramedics were shaking her, checking for a broken neck. "Hey, kid, wake up," one of them said. Then he asked, "Where are the other two in your car?" Witnesses said they saw blood all over them. "They're probably in bad shape." Nan blinked, confused. "What? I was alone." The paramedic frowned, assuming she was too drunk to remember. At the hospital, a police officer asked the same thing. "Where are your passengers?" "We can't find them," Nan snapped. "I'm telling you, I was alone." The witnesses at the bar, though, swore they saw 3 people in her car, Nan driving, a guy in the passenger seat, and a woman in the back. Nan insisted she'd been by herself, but no one believed her. The air grew heavy as people exchanged looks, realizing something wasn't right. After her release, Nan went to the auto shop to see her wrecked car. Staring at it, she couldn't shake the image of 2 passengers who didn't exist. Curious and creeped out, she asked locals about the road. They told her it was notorious for accidents. Most folks don't make it out alive. One said, "You're lucky. That pickup slowed you down before you hit the intersection." Nan pressed further. "What happened before my crash?" The local hesitated, then said, "Just a day before you. A couple got T-boned by a semi at that same spot. Both died on impact." Nan's blood ran cold. She was convinced they were trying to drag her into whatever fate they'd met. After fixing the car, she held a small cleansing ritual and sold it immediately. She hasn't driven a car since. Now 34, Nan sticks to motorcycles, swearing she'll never touch a steering wheel again.